Anyway.
Yeah.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to game number 2, Tong Fu versus WE. That game 1 was an epic in and of itself, but it was only game 1 in a best out of 5. Whoever wins this will be going to Seattle. I'm excited for game 2. I don't know if I can deal with 5 80-plus minute games, but we'll have to wait and see. These teams are capable of taking them that long. Both of them look very talented. I wouldn't even say Tong Fu badly outplayed WE, but they outplayed them just enough. They were a little bit more patient. They had that Roshan advantage. And we've talked a lot about WE and their love of Roshan. This time, they'll have that advantage, as they are located on the dire side.
Yep, and this time they've got the first pick, but not changing their bans at all, at least not significantly. We see the Night Stalker and Winner, both bans from last game, both being banned in this game, although this game, they're going to ban out that Beastmaster, which we saw Mew use so well last game. He's going to have to be playing something different here with both his Night Stalker and Beastmaster being banned out. They're really targeting his heroes. They're not too worried about the carry heroes that House can be on, partly because there's so many that they can't just ban them all. I mean, the Antimedes, the DK, the Morphling, just all these popular heroes. And we're going to see what Tong Fu want to do with their last ban here as World Elite. First pick on their side, Chen and Enchantress still in the pool. I'm sure they'll be considering that Chen especially. Enchantress not necessarily the top pick material, but something you will be seeing considered. And Brewmaster, of course, a hero that, I mean, you sort of emphasize the importance of. He's been winning 7 out of 8 games for World Elite, and I think 4 out of 4 games for Tong Fu. So both teams with incredible records with him, and we'll see what World Elite want to go for with this first pick. I'm sort of expecting a Chen here, but heroes like Queen of Pain still in the pool as well, and that has been very, very popular throughout for both these teams.
Well, a couple of heroes to think about already, like you mentioned. One hero I also want to throw his name into the conversation. There we go. Invoker, and this pick, whether or not World Elite are thinking about it this way, it's not only picking up an Invoker for yourself, it's denying it to Mu, and that is one of his best heroes, along with Beastmaster and Night Stalker. I'd say those 3 are generally the 3 you're going to see Mu on, so he's not going to get them to work with. There are, of course, a number of other heroes that Mu could be playing. But a good start, and of course this does leave Chen in the pool, but even if you give away a Chen, you can try and counter it with Enchantress, but Tong Fu is not going to go in that direction. They're going to secure that Queen of Pain and a Darkseer for themselves. This Darkseer was banned last game, I believe, in place of the Beastmaster, so this time he slips through. Earthshaker will be the pick. Pretty strong defensive heroes already, and I wonder if this is going to be a Wex or an Exhort Invoker. We can't really tell yet until some more picks come out. Morphling is going to be the pick. Very strong defensive lineup for World Elite, especially if they go for that EMP Tornado build.
Yeah, if they really want to turtle this up, which is something they are known for doing, although they're not going to be doing sort of super defensive turtling. They'll want to at least try to get some tails, keep lanes pushed out a bit, so they can take control of the Roshans, get the Aegis on their side. But for the most part, it's Tong Fu who have such a great team fight. That's something that World Elite are going to struggle to fight against. And still, Chen and Enchantress still in the pool, so if the Tong Fu really want, they can pick up the Chen here. Awoke played it really well last game, get it in his hands, and just try go for a similar sort of mid. I mean, it wasn't even a mid-game push last game. They waited till really late to push, but they just knew that come late game, they will be near unstoppable. And there we go. It is going to be the Chen. And with that, they can ban out the Enchantress if they're worried about the counter-jungle power of the Enchantress and just really make sure that Chen can sort of get off to some nice early game momentum and get up those early creeps. Some early ganks, early towers can always give your team a big boost.
I would be very surprised not to see a Dragon Knight ban here in the second phase. I'm not going to say he's the reason why they won the game, but if you look at Tong Fu's lineup, they really need a hero like a Dragon Knight in their lineup. They have room for it. It's something they like to go for, is a couple of semi-carries, some late-game insurance. Anti-Mage gets the ban, so going to deny that one hard carry option, but to me, Dragon Knight is probably the hero that Tong Fu have their eye odds if he's not banned out. As for World Elite, what can we say about their lineup? Well, they need a hard support. They could go for an Enchantress if she makes it through this pool and go for some defensive jungling. But I don't really think World Elite like Enchantress nearly as much as Chen. Chen just offers you so much more as a turtling support, and that is what World Elite generally favor, and this lineup is going in that direction. I mean, like you said, it won't be full-on turtling, but they have that dire advantage, and if you can get up an Aegis on the Invoker, on the Morphling, that's going to make a huge difference. Venomancer gets the ban. We saw this ban last game. It is a very strong anti-push support, and that's something that Tong Fu will be looking to doing, even with just the Chen pickup that already gives you a lot of push power. So Venomancer, the ban makes sense. Vengeful Spirit is in the pool if we want to see a tiny bit of aura stacking. Both teams also needed support. That would be an option. And interestingly, again, World Elite are banning out the Shadow Shaman. This is a support they favor and a support they've had a lot of success with. He is quite squishy, and against Chen, Queen of Pain, Darkseer can be burst down pretty easily. So maybe not the most surprising ban. But now it's just down to Tong Fu. One more ban to go, and then we're going to see our final 4 picks.
And that is a support hero that would give Tong Fu a lot more pushing power. The problem is, a hero you've mentioned you thought would be banned, and we've definitely agreed with. The DK is still in the pool, so definitely we could see Hao picking up that DK. Although he does, I think you did some stats on this. It has been Hao playing the Queen of Pain for the majority of their games, but they could easily put Queen of Pain as a solo mid, run the DK at bottom, or even vice versa. DK as a solo mid, Queen of Pain at bottom. DK just finding that middle lane, even against a hero like Invoker, just have that early bottle Crow if you have to, if you're really struggling, but in general, with the Flame Breath and with the HP regen from the Dragon Blood, you shouldn't struggle too much against the solo Invoker unless you're being ganked.
Yeah, I think this might be one of those games where it's not going to be a Hao Queen of Pain. And the reason I say that is I'm not sure who else Mu would play right now that's available in the pool. I mean, he's a very talented player. I'm sure he's capable of playing any semi-carry style ganker in the game that they want to go with, but I think Queen of Pain fits into that role perfectly. Maybe we could see a farming Tidehunter this game. That's a possibility. He is picked up here. If they want to go with another support, that is an option. They have some insane team fight now between Tidehunter, Darkseer, Queen of Pain, and of course Chen keeping everyone alive. They are a bit reliant on ultimates, but they still have a decent amount of chasing power without them. It's a different lineup for Tong Fu. It's definitely a different lineup from last game. If they want to go with DK as their last pick, they still have room for him.
I think we may be looking at a solo mid Tidehunter here, to be honest. I think maybe Mew playing the solo mid Tidehunter. I mean, was it Tong Fu who did that earlier in the tournament, or was that Wordle? It was one of the Chinese teams that run Tide as a solo mid, and I think it may have been Tong Fu in one of their games. It was a very one-sided game. Was it against Aeon, maybe?
Was that the Shiva Refreshers game?
No, it could have been. Right? It could have been because that was Aeon against MSI.
Okay. Well,
but I think one of the Chinese teams also did a solo mid Tide. From first appearance, I would be saying this could be a solo mid Tidehunter, although it is a capable support to go with the Chen. But this could well be. They like to get farm on the Tidehunter, get up the arcane boots, get up the pipe, and then pipe or the mech, or even just a blink dagger for the initiation. We'll see how they want to do this, but Tide as a support generally not a preferred option for the Chinese teams.
Yeah, Tide really he's just such a great hero to get tanky items on. As far as supports go, because of that Kraken Shell, his natural tankiness. If he gets a pipe, he's going to get it off. The Ravage, he's guaranteed to get that off in pretty much every fight, unless you just have some perfect timing on all of your stuns, but that's almost impossible to do. One difference between this game and the other one, if Tong Fu want to go for a Dragon Knight, they have an Invoker on their side. And Invoker is one of the few heroes of the game that could just completely lock down and really kite a carry like DK pretty effectively between Cold Snap, EMP, Tornado, of course, Deafening Blast, Ice Wall, so many tools in that box, and they're going to go for the puck. That'll be their off lane, so we're going to see a defensive tri-lane here with the Morphlane, an Invoker solo mid, a puck in the off lane. How do we feel about the puck's chances this game? If it's a farming Queen of Pain, I think puck is really going to struggle.
I think it may even be the case where they send the Earthshaker bottom as well, at least to start things off, because if they're expecting Darkseer in that top lane, having just a dual lane with the CM Morphling should be more than enough there. As there we go, Weaver is the last pick. There's your carry, or at least a semi-carry. We'll see whether or not it is Hao on the Weaver, and Weaver in the safe lane with Queen of Pain at mid. But yeah, I agree. Puck is likely to be a hero that will struggle in that bottom lane, unless you see a hero like Earthshaker backing him up, and then run the dual lanes. Have CM and Morphling at top with Invoker at mid. ES can just roam and go to wherever he's needed. He may even be needed for counter ganks in the mid lane if this Chen goes to some early smoke ganks.
I like this Weaver pick. Look at the chasing power on Tong Fu between Darkseer, Queen of Pain, and Weaver, plus you throw in the Gush as well, maybe some Chen creeps. It's going to be very difficult, even for a hero like Morphling, a Wex Invoker, or a Puck to escape. Weaver also a very capable hero in terms of soul lane, so it looks like we are going to be seeing Mu on this Queen of Pain. This will be a ganking Queen of Pain, a two-position player. It will be Hao on that farming Weaver. Now, Weaver is quite squishy, and W do have a lot of nukes, so the quick pipe on the Tidehunter is going to be helpful, although playing that support role, or actually I guess it'll be Darkseer's probably get this game, but if they can get up a quick pipe, a quick mech, a quick level 6 on the Chen, maybe even this is a game where you go for a hood early on Weaver. We do see the Chinese teams do that sometimes, or a vitality booster first. That's a possibility, but look at what we have for WE. It looks like an offensive tri-lane? Potentially. Yeah, I think it is going to be an offensive tri-lane.
Well, that's something that will catch him by surprise a little bit, that's for sure. As it is, yeah, offensive tri. I mean, they've got the Sentry Wards, though, which is, I guess, probably the D ward, that Observer ward that's going to be in the lane. They don't want their opponents to have a lane ward if they are doing an offensive tri lane, and right off the bat, it looks like Tong Fu setting up to plant that. Tide has the Observer wards. And we will see sansheng. There we go. There's that lane ward. And CM probably going to try to get an early D ward there. We'll have to see if she plants this far enough to the right to actually get that D ward. But Tong Fu themselves, what are they planning here? By the looks of things, we will see Darkseid heading towards the top lane, Kabu, although it is sansheng playing the Tide. So it looks like Kabu and sansheng have switched roles, because normally it's Kabu playing that secondary support with sansheng on the solo role. So they're going to switch roles this game.
Yeah, I really love this ward placement. You talked about it. It's going to be interesting to see if they actually find it. You'll often see the sentry ward placed a bit over here towards the left, so you can also de-ward if they place a ward in this area. There's a ward to the right of that camp directly below the rune, where you can actually get vision of the rune. So this will be very interesting. Are they actually going to... No, they're not. Look at where the sentry ward is placed, and this is a very creative ward. That is a big difference already off the bat. Haste up on the Morphling. He's going to make a go here on Hal, but I don't think we're going to be seeing any first blood attempts. Tidehunter is very tanky, and of course that Weaver very difficult to kill. Right off the bat, Awoke secures himself a Centaur, and with Tidehunter as well as Weaver here, Crystal Maiden in particular is going to have to be oh so careful about her positioning. And another Sentry Ward being placed, also not going to spot anything. I guess that's just for the Weaver. Frostbite off the bat. They really want to bring down the Centaur. A lot of damage going on to Lao. Well, a decent amount anyway. The Centaur will survive, but he is getting low.
Yeah, now actually, Fissure going to be used just for the Centaur. I like that decision. I mean, you get that early gold. I mean, I think it went to the Crystal Maiden, actually, as the Frostbite got the last tick on it. But just take out that Centaur. Chen has to go back, and we'll go for a new creep. He's only going to find a Satyr, which is not quite as strong for ganking, although harass-wise, having 5 to 6 shockwaves to throw at your opponents can be very, very annoying.
Up top, we're going to see a familiar sight this tournament, which is Darkseer in the offlane, just doing some backstabbing here on the creep wave. Kabu should really be a little bit farther back when he's doing this, and indeed he is going to rotate there. If Invoker actually tries to stop this, he will be missing out on experience of his own. Both teams sort of doing the dance at bottom, but nobody committing. And another creep going to get picked off. Awoke, not able to send that back towards base because Holy Persuasion was on cooldown. This is working out pretty well for W, although, as I say that, there's a pull happening, and with that pull, they're going to start to pull away a little bit in terms of experience.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Ty will get a bit of gold, but not just XP, but also gold. I mean, those 2 rock golems boost him up to 100 gold. He can get those next Observer, the Flying Courier. Gush going to go in. Another Frostbite, the 3rd Frostbite being used from CM. This level 1 Frostbite has proven to be very effective so far. They're going to try right click down. Fissure even being used as well. Morphling going to get the last hit. That's a boost to his gold, as now it is Morphling actually having to go in the back foot. He's going to get Gushy. This bottom lane, Morphling forced to wave on out, taking a lot of damage. And the bigger problem is CM is out of mana. Those 3 Frostbites on Chen creeps, sure, have made it so that Chen can't get any kills. But now, World Elite really limited in this bottom lane. They're out of mana. They're using up a lot of their regen. Morphling has gone for this early Magic 6, which will help a lot against these 3 Radiant heroes. They are fairly spam-heavy heroes. But for the other 2 support heroes, they're going to be very low on mana and HP consumables.
Really big creep wave. Pushing into the tower here. That's going to give fnty some opportunity to farm, but of course he is being forced to farm under the tower. And look at the teamwork of Icy and fnty. Icy applying a single right click towards these range creeps, and then fnty letting 2 tower shots hit and finish them up. It's really nice to see that kind of teamwork. But even so, he is missing a lot of last hits, and I don't know. I mean, because of those mana issues, Crystal Maiden has opted for Arcane, or recently we've seen a lot more Crystal Maidens. The more standard build nowadays is to max out the 2 nukes, maybe get a single point in the aura, but normally it's a bit later on. At least wait until level 3 for that. Then they're actually doing some double pulling now. What kind of creeps does Awoke have at his disposal? I actually don't see any Frostbite onto sansheng. Fissure as well. sansheng might be our first blood, but look how tanky that Titan is. The Anchor Smash, the bugs coming in. Icy is going to go down, but they get the first blood. That's going to be very helpful. It goes towards the Morphling. Now fnty on the back foot. The nuke, the shockwave coming in. fnty will go down to high damage. Test of fate there, and that secures the double kill. So a pretty even trade. I think overall Tong Fu will be quite happy to give up a first blood because they got 2 kills and a lot of experience going in their way. Look at the Weaver, already level 5.
Yeah, I mean, gold-wise, that was fairly even in terms of what they traded, but they got a kill on Morphling and a heap of experience going Weaver's way. 2 kills, and that's going to be a very, very nice start for them. And something, a lane we haven't looked at, mid lane, Puck against Queen of Pain, actually fairly even. This is one of those few matchups where Puck does well. When it's Puck versus Queen of Pain in the mid lane, rather than the side lane, there's no opportunity for Queen of Pain to actually chase. And Puck, this is your preferred, this is the one lane where Puck says, yeah, I can actually do something. Although it is going to be Queen of Pain with the superior room control, and Puck maybe even get forced into some bottle crowing here.
Well, you talked about the mid lane and how he's actually doing he's having a decent time, but oh, Puck, nice phase shift. Shadow Strike still to follow. Yeah, Mu is winning this lane, but it's not as dominating. If this was a 1v1 in that off lane, Mu may have already gotten a kill, or Puck would be hugging his tower, probably a level or two behind. Hao is going to take some harassment, but he's already got time lapse up, as well as a Ring of Health. This could be a Lincoln's. Oh, on the middle lane, JJ is going to go down. Nice gank by Awoke, who's already picked up a quick pair of boots. And look at the difference between Awoke's Chen this game and last game. Last game he was level 3 at like 6 minutes in. This game he's already level 5. This is how we normally see Awoke play the Chen. He might go for a gank or two here or there, but for the most part he's much more focused on getting the early levels, getting up that quick level 6, and starting to apply pressure with 2 or 3 creeps instead of just 1. I think this Chen is going to be a real problem, especially for the tri lane, once he hits level 7.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I mean, even this bottom lane, Weaver with a fast ring of health now. I mean, Morphling just throwing a wave in, harassing away, but ultimately that's just damage that Weaver's just going to easily heal right back up with this ring of health, not to mention plenty of HP regen, magic stick in the Bassi ring, really smart early game items coming out from Weaver, and as a result, this CM and Earthshaker limited in what they can do. We may see them going something like the smoke gank soon, but ultimately there's no way they can smoke gank. Queen of Pain is not an easy kill. And there's just no easy kills to be found on the map apart from either the Tide or the Chen. And those two heroes playing very, very smart with their positioning.
Wow, look at Kabu. He's got arcade boots, but will Invoker actually spot out this curve, be able to do anything about it? There's the delivery. In fact, it's Chan on the back foot. He does have Ghost Walk, but that Ion Shell is still going to damage you. Will Chan go down? The creep's coming in. They're tagging the tower. The vacuum not going to hit. Very narrowly dodging, but for now it looks like Tong Fu are winning every single lane. Look at the farm on Kabu. 41 CS already. That is outrageous farm. That's almost 7 CS a minute. Oh boy. This is one of those games where the kill score does not tell the tale at all. Tong Fu have a huge lead, over almost 2,000 gold. The experience lead even more significant, up to 4,000. That's like a 50%, 40 to 50% advantage in terms of experience. This is a kill they need up top. Can they get it on Kabu? Looks like they will. That's an important kill.
Oh yeah, he was just farming and doing way too well in that top lane. I mean, that was a 1,500 gold lead, and that's with no towers. Often at like sort of 5-10 minutes in, if one team's farming a lot better, you'll see maybe a 500 gold lead or something. But 1,500 gold in pure CS this early in the game is not a good position for World Elite to be in. Both bottom and mid lane not going well. Top lane Invoker's doing okay CS-wise, but it's the Darkseer who's doing well. And there we go, Queen of Pain blinking in with an ulti, takes out the Invoker. And there we go, some revenge for the Darkseer. Darkseer's going to TP right back into this top lane, just continue applying pressure. The T1 tower at top has taken a lot of damage because this Darkseer has been creep skipping continuously. And once Darkseer picks up a tanking item, either a Vanguard or a Hood, he's going to be very hard to deal with, very hard to even gank in this top lane.
Guys, anybody who's still having lag issues on the stream, when you hear this, try refreshing the stream. Sometimes you'll get a better server. Try changing the quality. If you're on a lower quality, sometimes going up to 720p or 720p plus, whatever the max it is, will actually help you. Because of the way that Twitch.tv does their encoding, we do apologize for any lag. Again, it's really out of our control. I'm not dropping any frames. I'm not lagging a game, so I know it's not on my end. The other thing that you guys can do if you're still having issues after all that is go ahead and report the issue to Twitch. Maybe they can do something to help fix the lag, but there are a lot of games being played for MLG right now. I know there's a lot of viewers for that, so it is something where we only have so much control. But as I say that, Kabu gonna get caught out again. Chen Hill gets popped. In fact, he's got Surge, but a nice body block by Chong, as well as the Tornado. They get that kill, but here's Awoke. 2 creeps up. They're gonna be pressuring the mid lane. This is the power of that early Chen. The heal didn't quite save Darkseer, but it was almost enough. And now he can actually control 3 creeps. He's already level 7.
Oh yeah, he is just, I mean, I think it was last game, we're about 20 to 30 minutes in, he was level 8.
Yeah.
It was like the heroes on the map who were level 16 or something, and he was just so down under level. Not to say he played badly, it was just a completely different style and tempo of game coming out from Tong Fu. But this game, they're looking much better, as we are going to see Weaver and Tide putting a bit of aggression, Gush going down the Morphling at bottom lane with some harass from Weaver, but this is another hero who has got an early bottle. That's going to give him some survivability and the ability to stay in this lane. Weaver, though, 800 gold. It's going to be just some strength with the Ring of Health here. So I think this could just be Treads into a Radiance. Treads alone, sometimes you can get instead of either the Vanguard or the Hood, or even the Vitality Booster, as the Strength Treads alone will give some decent HP. And now we're going to see a gang coming in. 1 Centaur stun. There's not going to be another one in range. He will get the wave out, and it looks like he should survive this one. Not going to be able to get the second stun off on him. Although Tong Fu can probably just transition into a tower push instead.
Yeah, the offlane Morphling is just being horribly denied here, and You know, I'm not sure they had another option because in that particular lane, Puck would have been murdered. Like, up against that many heroes, just had no chance, especially with a Chen, as well as the Weaver with his chase ability. Oh, jiejie in the middle lane, will he go down? It looks bottling through the Shadow Strike. It will not be enough. Lao tried to save him, but moved just a bit too strong. There's your power treads. He's also got 400 gold. There's aim, and here's the pressure from Chen. This is Tong Fu. Really, this is the game they like to play. Early towers, early aggression, dominating all the lanes with some strong early laning heroes, and they have that mid-game presence as well with the Darkseer Tidehunter. So it's not like WE, all they need to do is turtle. They really need to get something going. The tier 2 being pressure bottom, another crucial tower for Roshan control. They've already lost the tier 1 mid and the tier 2 bottom. With this down, they're going to be left with a single tower that's positioned well. While if you look at Tong Fu, all of their towers very healthy in terms of HP. Some really great map control already in this game.
Oh yeah, and they're getting closer and closer to having this Tide Ravage. There's just a lot of things going Tong Fu's way. Game number 1 was a very close hard-fought battle, but this game is starting. I mean, there's a clear team in the lead right now, and that's going to be Tong Fu with those couple of towers their way, with these core items coming up as well. Wondering who we're going to see buying the mech and pipe. I mean, Darkseer and Chen probably the two logical heroes to get the mech on Chen, the pipe on Darkseer. Then Tai can just go for a Blink Dagger. He'll also be getting a lot of those wards for his team. Maybe a second pair of Arcane Boots, but this team fight is looking very scary. We'll see what Mew wants to get on the Queen of Pain as well, but right now, World Elite need to start. I mean, they need to make something happen, whether it's towers or looking for some smoke ganks, looking for some kills. And one of the key heroes they need to get involved is going to be this Puck. Puck had that solo mid, has got level 7, and just hits level 8 now, in fact, and has not really been involved in any kills or ganks yet.
Yeah, he actually was level 8, and he did not have his orb maxed out. He really was favoring that silence, and that's some more defensive build. It shows that, you know, the Queen of Pain blinked in. He wanted to try and limit her ability to do additional damage to him. In fact, did he take a point at stats? No, he didn't. Okay, I guess he has...
Dire's top tower has been denied.
Yeah, okay, math adds up. So yeah, he's not opting to max the orb. That's gonna really limit his ability to get fully involved at this stage. And I guess the other issue for this Puck is they're missing those 2 tier 1 towers, and that makes it, his mobility is a lot more limited. He's gonna have to smoke gank. But look at the warding by Awoke already, de-warding. Oh man, Awoke is just playing fabulously well, and in fact, it's not Puck who's going to be doing the ganking. It's him who might be getting ganked out. As I say, that Kabu in a bit of trouble here. So tanky already with Vitality Booster. He's going to be held in place by Crystal Maiden. The Fissure to follow. A great Fissure. I believe this is a full block. The vacuum and Kabu goes down again. There was a channel, but this time he opted not to use it. And meanwhile, Morphling on the bottom lane has not gotten any farm. Maybe in trouble here. A nice test of fate to start. Look at them. They know that Fancy wants to try to run away. The bunks come in. The waveform out. The Ravage is available. There's your Ravage. And Fancy is going to go down. Nice micro of the creeps. Awoke is just playing so well. I know I'm gushing about it, but he is really winning this bottom lane for his team.
Oh no, I'm in full support of this idea, and it's not coming down to fantastic play from Hao, who has had some great games in this tournament, carried his team on numerous occasions, but this is all about the support play. They are the ones controlling the early to mid game. They are the ones who have to make the big decision, and here we go. Big Dream Call, Puck coming to the fray. This Weaver though, so tanky, so elusive, pops the time left, he's doing a lot of right click damage. They get a kill on Tidehunter. Weaver gets tornadoed up, it's just trying to get out. He gets frostbitten under the sentry ward. Chen unable to save him, was trying to swing back base. Here comes Mute, Queen of Pain, ulti, Scream, they get the Earthshaker. CM has already dropped, and with this Darkseer Iron Shell doing so much damage, we may see Puck drop as well. Chen being backstabbed by this Invoker. They do lose Puck, and now they're going to chase after Invoker. It looks like Chen is in some trouble here. Going to pop down an EMP, and the Scream already cast by Mew before the EMP comes up, and it looks like we may see a few losses here. Queen of Pain not going down, and Morphling now forced to go running as Darkseer. That Iron Shell, when maxed out, does so much damage at this point in the game.
It's not, yeah, it's the Iron Shell, and it's the vacuum. I mean, that vacuum into Quap ultimate, into a Scream of Pain, that just pretty much wiped WE. They were either dead or running for their lives, and that was a perfect fight for WE in the sense that they didn't have to deal with a Tide Ravage. Tong Fu were very deeply committed to the tower. They got a Sentry Ward down. They picked off the Weaver before he could do too much damage. And even there, they still weren't really able to come out with the lead. It was a decent fight for them. Probably the best they're going to get. But Tong Fu still came out ahead. The Gold Grave continued to go up. The experience lead continued to increase. Tong Fu are in firm control of this game. If WE want to win fights, I think they're going to have to continue to pick them when the Tide Ravage isn't down. But more importantly, perhaps, you don't want to go up against the Darkseer and the Queen of Pain in the same fight. They're just too far ahead. They do too much damage.
Oh yeah, I totally agree there. And Weaver with an Ultimate Orb is going for a Lincoln Sphere build. Yeah, this is apparently proving me wrong and proving wrong the stereotype that these Chinese teams hate Lincolns. I mean, I've said it before, it's one of those items that they don't like to get because of how expensive it can be and how unreliable as a sort of a defensive item from those disables it can be. But they're going to be going for that, as we will see Darkseid gets caught. Tornado EMP. There goes all of Darkseid's mana. He's got a regen rune on his ball, but he needs to get it away. He's going to pop the regen rune. He's got enough mana for the surge. And Invoker not going to get the kill as of yet. The bottle up, keeping him alive. And now, there we go. Return fire from Weaver looking for this Invoker. Can he get the Ghost Wall up? He will just in time use that Windwalk. There's a Sentry Ward though. They spot him out with a Vacuum Scream. They get the kill. Invoker goes down.
Another death for this Invoker, and at this point of the game, Chan already has 3 deaths. Generally, when we see a Wex Invoker have a good start, he will maybe die once or twice in the early game. You really can't afford to die because you need so many levels. The item progression is important, but it's really the levels on this Wex Invoker that are crucial. You have to get a lot of points into Wex. You need a single point exhort, as well as many points as you can afford to Quas, plus scaling up the ultimate. This is an Invoker who's, I mean, he's keeping pace with a lot of the Radiant heroes, so it's not like he's doing poorly, but generally you want to be ahead because of how level dependent your hero is. Also because he is so easy to burst down with all of these nukes that they have. And I have to really credit Tong Fu. They've had a Sentry Ward every time Invoker has tried to go into Ghost Walk. Something you see a lesser team occasionally forgetting here or there. Just a single escape can make a big difference for a hero like Invoker. But Tong Fu are not done yet. They're going to go onto Icy, and this Crystal Maid is just so squishy. Quap ult is, starts to be cast, is cancelled. Nice job there by Moo. That ult was not going to hit. In the end, they're not going to get the kill, but just maintaining a lot of map control, a big presence in the Dire jungle, which is forcing a lot of Sentry Wards.
Yeah, I mean, the Dire team have got Sentry Wards at the top cliff, over near that pool camp. They're just so wary of the Radiant team warding. I mean, they're probably wasting gold that's not even, I mean, getting any successful D-wards, just out of pure fear. And as a result, Tong Fu just finding so much, getting such a big item advantage. I mean, as a result, they're going to lose this tier 2 mid tower as well. We're going to see a 5th tower taken and not a single tower going World Elite's way. And this is going to really limit World Elite's options here. They can't just press their advantage. They can't use that Dire Roshan advantage, and that's a position they're not normally in. Normally, they're on this Dire side. They take down Roshan as much as they can. Here, they're being put under too much pressure.
Yeah, look at the game that they played against Aeon. And Aeon actually had a bit more in terms of push power at this stage of the game with the DK as well as the Death Prophet. And I think they had a couple of supports who pushed pretty effectively as well. But we'll talk about that later. Sansheng gets surged in. He's got the ultimate, but he's being silenced. He's being stunned. Ravage still not used. Will use it just for Jiejie. It looks like he will. Jiejie goes down. In comes the Tornado EMP, I believe, is not available. And so they're going to get the tier 2 and a kill of the puck. Not the biggest win, but the tower. The tower is what really matters. And WE, it's not only about Roshan. This really limits the space for that Morphling, the Invoker, and the Puck. Yes, Puck is a hero that needs items. He really wants to get a Blink Dagger up, or at least a pair of Arcane Boots at this stage of the game. He's being slowed down. He dies again, and without that death, he'd almost have the Blink. So the map control for Tong Fu, it continues to increase.
Oh yeah, and I mean, Puck at this point, underfarmed, underleveled. 1,500 gold is inching close to that Blink Dagger, but overall, it's Tong Fu. We're going to see, I assume, yeah, Queen of Pain is actually going to be going for what looks to be an Aghanim Scepter. We'll see if Mew wants to finish off the full Aghanim Scepter or just have the point booster for some HP and mana and go for a Sheep Stick or some other item before getting the Aghanim Scepter, because you do get some mana problems with the straight Ag Scepter. Speaking of Queen of Pain, here comes the gank train. Invoker, Tornado, we'll see an EMP and a Frostbite. They do latch on. Nice little gank there. They're going to get that kill. Invoker with the last hit. And if they can get a tier 1 tower of this, it'll be a nice pick up for World Elite. Although, meanwhile, here comes the counter push. Here comes the trade in top lane.
Speaking of that Queen of Pain's items, especially after that death, I'm thinking BKB. Moo generally loves to go for a fast BKB on his Queen of Pain because he is playing that ganky role. He's not the hard carry. And especially against this Dire lineup, it's just going to be so nice. No Cold Snap, no Tornado to worry about, no nukes coming after the Puck, no Silence, no Frostbite. I mean, really nothing to lock this Queen of Pain down. And that gives them another form of initiation. Another hero who can tank up and sustain, especially with Chen on his side, as well as that Tidehunt in the Dark too. So I think BKB is the way to go, especially because it is a Moo Queen of Pain. But either way, whatever he wants to go for, the real point is, and the real story of this game is Moo is having a fabulous time. 3-1-6, 80 CS, 20 minutes, and that's 4 CS a minute. Not outstanding, but quite strong, and he's freeing up so much space for this Weaver being played by Hao, who already has a completed Lincoln Sphere, and God, 900 more 50 gold in the bank.
Yeah, this is a very fast Lincoln's treads and got plenty on top of it. It is going to be a complete Aghanim Scepter bought from you. So there's your item choice there. Mech up on the Chen. Darkseer has a Vanguard. We're going to see probably a pipe coming up afterwards. Decided just to go for some selfish survivability first, but although I'm not questioning it, I think the Vanguard first is perfectly fine. And he's got his hood already, so it's not a thing. It's not like the pipe is even going to come all that late. Getting a 15-minute pipe is a bit unnecessary when you're not really having a massive team fight that early in the game. They're going to go for that push. Around this point, I mean, they would have probably been pushing around the 25 to 30-minute mark, except they've had such a strong early game that they are ready now. They've taken out all 6 outer towers. They may even take Roshan. As you can see, they put an offensive ward. It is right by a sentry, however, so it will get dewarded pretty quickly, but still. Tong Fu, they want to take Roshan, and I believe they can do so. Even if World Elite know, if there's a 5v5 clash, you've got to favor the Radiant side. They've got that Darkseer Wall of Replicate and the Tide Ravage. They just have such a beastly team fight.
Speaking of that Darkseer, there's a Hood of Defiance for you. Kabu, it's not only how he's getting a lot of farm, the Queen of Pain, Mu, and Kabu, everyone's got farm. Even Sansheng has picked up a pair of Arcane Boots, as well as an Herb Shadows. If we take a look at the gold graph, I didn't really want to do that, but 11,000 gold lead at 20 minutes in. A massive advantage, and now they have an Aegis to work with as well. Who's going to take it? It will be Mu. I like this choice. The Weaver is actually a lot harder to lock down. Plus, Mu is a little bit more burst damage, and burst damage is the name of the game against the mobility of heroes like Puck, Morphling, and the Wex Invoker. So I think Mu is the correct choice. Plus, it allows him to initiate, and Weaver can really follow up. And Tong Fu, they're going to maybe go for high ground here, or at the very least, they're just going to keep the lanes pushed in and then go farm the enemy jungle.
Yeah, I mean, they're in no rush. They've taken out... Breaking into those tier 3 towers is not the easiest thing in the world to do. I mean, they're up against a Tornado EMP, the Puck AoE. Puck actually has a Blink Dagger now. Morphling trying to build up his own BKB, about 600-700 gold away from that. And especially when Morphling gets a BKB, it's going to be really hard for Tong Fu to push on in. They'll want to wait till they have that pipe up as well. As we will see Tornado EMP does land on a couple heroes. And that's another thing. That Tornado EMP is going to force them to have multiple Arcane Boots, although it looks like they have 3 at the moment with Chen, Tide, and Darkseer all having 1. So 3 Arcane Boots, Pipe and Mech, and they should be ready to go, but no Pipe as of yet. Darkseer, oh, is he got it? Something's flying out, and it doesn't look like he has just yet. Just a bit of a way away from that, but still, things looking very, very good for Tong Fu and World Elite. I mean, what do you do if you're World Elite here?
You hope for Tong Fu to make a mistake. You can't really leave your base. Unfortunately, Tong Fu is a team that's not... They don't make a lot of mistakes. I said this a couple of times in previous past them. I don't think we've seen them lose a big lead yet. And they are going to start sieging out the base. But yeah, have we ever seen them drop a lead like this before? I don't think we have. I really don't.
No. Especially not this big. I mean, maybe 3 or 4K gold. I think one of their games is against Zenith. They were up by about they had maybe a 2 or 3K gold lead, which got turned around. But that was one of those games where, sure, it was a 2 or 3K gold lead, but you never felt they were in that strong a position, or they didn't have a firm grasp on the game as a whole. So we'll see how they deal with this position here. But I'd say World Elite, I mean, they've got to buckle down here. Otherwise, they're going to be going into a game 3 down 2-0 as Tong Fu just... This team fight is just going to be so hard for World Elite. How do you initiate? I mean, not to mention they've got to defend and wait for a mistake, but where is that mistake going to come from? When you've got a Tide Ravage, you've got the Darkseer Wall plus Vacuum. This is not like the hardest combo to land. All Tide has to do is wait for the right opportunity to pop that Ravage Darkseer as well. The Queen of Pain has an Aghanim Scepter, so can afford just to spam the ultimate bit because of that short cooldown. And Weaver can just sort of chip away on those towers.
Oh, Dream
They
Coil.
don't have enough burst damage to kill him.
Puck just missed the Dream Coil. This may be Tong Fu going for high ground right now. EMP Tornado, blink out from Mu. That's the big combo, and unfortunately didn't actually burn too many heroes' mana. Also, Tong Fu has opted for a lot of Arcane Boots, and if you get behind to a team as a Wex Invoker, that EMP it's a bit of damage, but against Chen it really doesn't make a big difference. Kabu, he's still not quite at the point of having that pipe. I don't think they need the pipe. I think you're right. Tong Fu have what it takes to go high ground here. The wall gets dropped. Actually, that was a pretty bad wall, to be perfectly honest. A little bit premature. It is zoning them back a bit. Morphling taking some damage. Will they actually be able to bring him down? I don't think so, but if he has to go back to base, that means time for Tong Fu to right-click on this tower, and there's just no clear opening. Vacuum out of the low ground by Kabu. What a vacuum! The Ravage on 2. There's no Puck ultimate. 1 quick death. Puck likely to go down as well. Puck will go down. That's 2 kills. Is there buyback? Doesn't even matter. I think the answer to both these questions is no. Another EMP and Tornado. DD picked up on Kabu, and it looks like they're going to get this tier 3 tower. As I say that, Mu gets silenced, but he's got the Aegis. Even if he goes down, he can come right back to life. He's going to come back. The tier 3 has been breached. They're going for the Rex. 25-minute Rex. about to be claimed here. Tong Fu on the verge of claiming a massive advantage, perhaps an insurmountable one. That vacuum to set everything up. That was a fantastic play by Kabu.
Kabu just setting things up as well as he can. I mean, from there, it didn't really matter. There was just nothing Waterley can do. They're trying to get a few pickoffs now, but really, this is just an uphill battle for them. They finished the BKB on Morphling, but his teammates are just squishy, squishy, squishy. I mean, the CM just sitting on boot. Same, Urshik has actually picked up a Blink Dagger here, so they will have slightly better teamfight, but that's just a level 1 ulti. I mean, level 8 Urshaker will have some good, I mean, we'll be able to have some good initiation here, but look at these Radiant heroes. They're tanky. I mean, Queen of Pain, Aghanim Scepter will boost up her HP a bit. They've got the mech, they've got the Chen heal, and there's just a lot to keep them alive. Not to mention a Pipe is going to be flying out soon. Dark's here with Vanguard, and Hood is just very, very hard to take down. All these Radiant heroes, and there we go. Radiant's now up on How the Weaver in about 100 or 200 gold, and with that, I mean, Tong Fu just getting, not only are they looking good in these team fights and early pushes, but they have a backup plan. They have the Weaver with a Radiance and just looking to carry this game regardless of what happens.
This is the second game in the row that we've seen Awoke playing that Chen. In game number 1, he had one of the worst starts I've ever witnessed for a jungler in any game, and especially for a player of Awoke's caliber. He still had what it took in the end, along with his team, to help pave the way for a victory. If they could do it again here in game 2, I have to figure that Chen will be the ban. He's just been such a high-impact player, and at this point of the game, yeah, you see the big wombo combo, of the Tide Hunter, of the Queen of Pain, of the Darkseer. You see How, who's outrageously farmed, but it is Awoke who set everything up for his team, paved the way for them to be in this position, and Roshan is actually a couple of minutes away, so I'm really not how. Okay, he's getting his Radiance. Yeah, that Radiance, such a fast timing to have not to have a Radiance, but to have a Lincoln's Radiance, and to be level 16. Yeah. It's a ridiculous lead that we see Tong Fu with right now.
Oh, absolutely. And now Weaver going in at mid lane with that Radiance. I think this is a kill on the CM. CM's going to TP out. I don't even think she can. Nope, too much damage. Weaver, easy kill on CM. And it looks like they're just going to go for this mid-rack. So there's even a bit of split push happening as Mew is currently at top lane. Probably just going to blink his way towards the middle lane and really try put on that even more pressure. As look at even more potential damage. There's the silencer. Weaver in trouble. Nice play. The Tide Ravage going to get the kill on the Weaver. Tide's going to come in, look to get some revenge though, as Queen of Pain ulti gets a double. Big ulti. They're going to get the Earthshaker as well. Luau pops the ulti. Not going to do much. Triple kill for Mew. Doesn't even matter that they lost the Weaver there. Weaver getting caught out by the Silence on Invoker, but they're going to lose the racks anyways by the looks of things. Morphling has no BKB, and this is going to be just too much of an advantage going Tong Fu's way.
That was everything just for a Weaver, and this is why Tong Fu is such a strong team. They're not reliant on one player to win them games. Even when you see a really farmed DK like we did in game number 1, it was the supporting cast who helped push him over the top to claim that victory. And here, you pick off a Weaver with a 26-minute Lincoln's Radiance. It doesn't matter. The Vacuum, the Ravage, the Ion Shell, the Queen of Pain ulti, which was fantastic, and call it a triple. That was a fantastic display of skill by the entire team. But at this point, it's just sort of that crushing advantage. And it's not even that W is playing badly. It takes too much to bring down one hero, and one hero is not enough to stop the push. They claim the tier 3, they will back off for now. But as soon as Weaver respawns, I think they can just continue this push. Tong Fu is not a team that will turtle when they have a lead. When they have a lead, they will go all in. Initiation by jiejie. He is locking down Awoke for the moment, but it really doesn't matter. Look at the Invoker, the CM, all dying. Mu with that Shadow Strike looking to lock down Lau. Lau is not able to run away. You can't run from this Queen of Pain. Will we see a blink out from Puck? No, he's not able to do it. He will go down to 4 deaths. Morphling the only survivor. He just can't do anything. 2 sets of racks claimed. I'm expecting a GG any moment here from WB.
Oh, absolutely. This game is, at this point, there's nothing Waterley can do. That fight there, not going their way. They did kill the Darkseer, but with Focus 5, it's one of those things, they can throw everything they have at one hero. They may kill that hero, but there's just too many Radiant heroes on Tong Fu's side who can do damage. I mean, they kill the Weaver, it's the Queen of Pain who cleaned up. That fight, they killed the Darkseer, and it was the Queen of Pain with the Weaver who cleaned up. They just cannot deal with all the problems which Tong Fu are throwing at them, including that Darkseer wall, which you can't forget. And we're going to see on the back of this Chen. For me, leaving Chen to go that far in the draft was a bit of a mistake there. Chen got picked up 3rd for Tong Fu. There was no opportunity to counterpick it because Tong Fu then managed to ban out some of those annoying heroes for the Chen, and we're going to see the Mega Creeps coming soon. It looks like they should be able to get this Rax. They may just back off to play it a bit safer, as they are currently missing the Darkseer. They could wait for the Darkseer, but it looks like they don't even care. They're going to go right into the melee bag. Puck trying to stall them. There's your Tidehunter initiation. He's got a Blink Dagger up, and it looks like they're not even going to use that Tide Blink to get any kills. They're just happy to Tide Blink Ravage. Meanwhile, the rest of the heroes will focus down on that Rax. Queen of Pain blinking. CM goes down. Weaver still just right-clicking this Rax. Going to make sure they get the Mega Creeps. Going to make sure they get the oh-so-important Game 2 victory, giving them the 2-0, going into Game 3, and World Elite. I mean, they put up a great fight here, but they're in all sorts of trouble.
Yeah, dropping 2 games like this to a team like Tong Fu, who's out playing with absolute complete confidence, it's going to be a very difficult climb. If WE want to take the series, they have to go undefeated the rest of the way. No more room for mistakes for them. The GGs did come out from WE just now, as well as Tong Fu. Good manners by both teams. But it's Tong Fu who look to close out the series with the 3-0 sweep. If they do, they will be the ones to advance to the International. They will be the ones taking that trip to Seattle for the right to compete for $1 million against all the best teams in the world. Boy, it's looking like Tong Fu may have what it takes. They may just have what they need to win this series. Don't count WE out. It's not over until they lose the 3rd game, but it's a deep hole they've dug for themselves. And, if they end up dropping this 3rd game, it all goes back to that Game 1, how differently the series might have turned out if they had turned it around. It was such a close Game 1. Game 2, not nearly as close. Tong Fu with a convincing win, looking very strong in top form.